Have you guys heard about Telepathy Tapes? I have heard about them. And I wanted to make my first reaction video. So I've only seen one short, and it's this one, alright?
Here's the thing about all this. I think some telepathy is real.
It is real.
I think it is real. Have you listened to the Telepathy Tapes?
No,
You haven't?
I haven't listened to it.
It's a new podcast that's out. And it's all about this scientific research that was done with nonverbal autistic kids and their parents. And they were able to go into another room and they would bring up things to one, whether it was, I think they would bring things up to the mom or the mom would say things. But the kid was accurate 95% of the time
Wow.
with numbers, with colors.
Yeah.
Like like three numbers in a row.
Yeah.
Like, you know how crazy that is? Just to guess three numbers in a row 95% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, they think it's real. I'm only on episode 2. So, but it's really fascinating, man, because it's a dismissed thing. It's a woo-woo thing.
Sure.
But if it's real, shouldn't scientists study it like it's real? And it seems like through scientific study, here's the thing about all.
Alright, so the thing is how scientific it is, right? Because I think that's what brings the most skepticism. So this is the only thing I saw. Before I saw like a short on Instagram, and I was like, damn, this is kind of crazy. Why is nobody else talking about them beside, of course, Joe Rogan and Duncan Trussell? But Duncan haven't even heard about it, right? This was the other guy on Joe Rogan podcast. So I wanted to see this 3-minute 20 seconds video about it, and see what it's all about, man. Then I wanna like dig in a little bit into the subject and see what I can find.
My son said to me, I can hear thoughts. And I said, impossible. And he said to me, you don't get the kind of gifts that I have if you lie.
Let's please multiply 2 numbers and see if he gets it.
Okay, what is it?
9 0 0.
Unbelievable.
1.
Maybe shuffle again, Dr. Powell. Oh.
Plus 2.
So he got the plus too.
I was wondering, because I was looking at the 2 the whole time and I saw his hand going somewhere else.
What is this phenomena happening? Why are his mind and my mind completely connected?
I knew that a lot of people would think, boy, Diane's gone off the deep end. But
That's the risk any scientist takes when they challenge the current paradigm.
Joining us today to shed some light, Dr. Diane Powell.
I'm working with children who have been reported by a parent to be able to read their mind.
The data was so compelling and accurate that I had to follow it, even though I knew I was risking my scientific reputation.
I started testing them and I found that they were exceedingly accurate.
What is the next number?
3.
After the medical board took my license away, I had to prove my sanity. And once I did, I said, I'm going to prove that ESP is real.
Dr.
Bro,
Karen,
what?
he's done these QEEG scans to see what's going on.
The biggest overall finding is really this increase of activation across all the brain waves. If there was no change, I would definitely be skeptical.
If you can show a consistent pattern, particularly from kid to kid, that's how science changes. You cannot fake this.
We want answers like, where does it comes from? I want to know how and what are we supposed to do?
We can't all be crazy.
We are far more powerful than we can imagine, and the implications are huge for humanity and the planet.
Help fund a documentary. Let's check it out. I mean, I don't have any money, but I can maybe if there's an information about if they, yeah, it's a spot fund. All right, so it's not found. So maybe they already funded the documentary. Interesting, man. Damn. My son and I are autistic. He and I dream jump into one another's dreams. We also speak with one another via thought. I just found this channel. Thank you for shedding a light on our connection. Bro, I don't know, maybe I'm just too big of a believer, but I I, I kind of believe. Man, maybe it's too easy to convince me to still believe in something, you know? But watching a 2 minute long video and reading one comment, I'm like, oh my god! Telepathy, man, telepathy. I am an only parent to a nonverbal girl who is 19. I've been telling therapists for years that my daughter uses telepathy to communicate with me. It's wonderful to see this being researched. The kids, people sense the world in ways we neurotypical folks don't. They face so many challenges and yet they are also key to unlocking the full human potential. Really glad my friend shared this with me, and I'm even more glad that science is following what many parents have already gotten to discover. Bro. So, telepathy. So, mm, because they use the neural scanner, right? The brain scanner. That makes it a little bit scientific, right? But there is so much more to it to make it actually scientific, right? But I don't know. I was convinced, man. Like, why would they lie about something like that? Maybe, yeah, they could have lied to get views, right? To get attention, but man, using your kids, your nonverbal autistic kids to get you attention, maybe some people will be so so disturbed that they would do something like that, but otherwise I don't think that's the case, man. Right, so I have Polish, but it's all in English, right? The Telepathy Tapes is a podcast by documentary director Kai Dickens that explores the claims of telepathic communication in non-speaking autistic individuals. Right, so the podcast features interviews with experts, including a neuropsychiatrist, but singular, right? Right, so only one neuropsychiatrist. That is up to criticism. I would believe. Controversy. The podcast premise is not accepted by mainstream science, and some critics have labeled it as pseudoscience. Right? Why? A dangerous cornucopia of pseudoscience. Let's check this one, man. Why is it says pseudoscience? The evidence. The Telepathy Tapes is a podcast, so naturally it is largely audio without accompanying images, right? Most of the amazing things cannot be witnessed directly. However, the producer's stated goal is to raise funds to make a feature-length documentary, and as a result, much of the material has been recorded in video. The Telepathy Tapes website includes several video clips from the Telepathy Tapes performed on the TV show, but to watch them you must pay a $10 membership fee, which in the interest of thorough reporting, I did. Damn, alright, so yeah, for attention but also perhaps for money, I would love to use these clips to demonstrate the enormous problems with these tests, but because they are behind a paywall and the producers have superimposed large copyright symbols on every frame, I will have to make do with what I can. A test from episode 3 that is also shown in YouTube trailer for the podcast and my description of a second test. Figure 1, 2 screenshots with timestamps from the trailer of the Telepathy Tapes. So yeah, so we've seen this, right? The young man is purported to be physically reading the number on the Uno card held behind him. In episode 3, a young man with autism appears to be able to... Due to the mother's direct involvement holding the stencil in the air, it is unclear whether the communication is coming from her or the young man. And of course, she knows the correct answer. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Apply. 2.
So he got the plus, too.
I don't understand that argument, man. If we assume the mother and not the young man is controlling the number identification, but how? I don't understand, man. Figure 2. The psyche test that is so impressed the cinematographer in episode 1 involved a blinded 4-year-old girl sorting colored popsicle sticks. Wait, it was here as well? Yeah.
The parent to be able to read their mind.
The data was so compelling and accurate that I had.
Alright, but it was only for a mere second. The image also shows someone holding her chin. Ah, the psyche test. For each trial, the mother hands the girl a popsicle stick, and the girl's job is to move her hand left or right to the correct spot and drop the popsicle stick. The mother's hand is on the girl's forehead the whole time. And of course, the mother can see the array of popsicle sticks on the table, right? To my eyes, the mother appears to move the girl's head back and forth as a prompt to where she should drop the stick. In one case, when the girl was hesitant and the correct pile was to her far left, the mother appeared to be pushing the girl's head very far to the left side. Right, so I would have to see it with my own eyes, right? But then I couldn't also show it on YouTube. I mean, I can get demonetized. Like, I'm not making any kind of money, so yeah, maybe I would actually pay $10. Yeah, if people would want to see that, man, let me know. So a false narrative. All right, check it out. So there was an interview, right, with a man named Joe. I actually looked at some of the academic literature on this, and what I found was 40 or so negative papers were earlier on it the process back in the 90s. Then at one point the spellers improved their methodology. You find later on there's like over 100 papers that are now saying, wait a minute, we missed something here. And the guy here says, the producers of the podcast do not provide a list of these 100 or more positive papers, but you can find the negative papers here and here. Joe's account is how the proponents of these methods often describe their history. Yes, there were some problems back in the 90s when the facilitated communication was introduced, but these new methods don't involve touching the non-speaking person, so we have cleaned up our act. Furthermore, there is a new research that shows these letterboard methods work. What? The facilitators were unaware they were doing the typing, but they were. These findings were reported in a devastating 1993 PBS Frontline documentary Prisoners of Silence. And for a time these methods went out of fashion. Alright. Let's see what Reddit says about it. Telepathy Tapes takes. Hello, I am the parent of a non-verbal 6-year-old autistic child. Hello, I'm the parent of a non-verbal 6-year-old autistic child. Recently, my wife has gotten very invested and excited by the Telepathy Tapes podcast. Its primary purpose is to showcase evidence of non-verbal people, largely autistic people, having telepathic abilities, especially when communicating with other non-verbal people. I'm a very skeptical person by nature, and this feels like a new age manipulation at first glance. I figured if non-verbal autistic folks were able to telepathically able to communicate with each other, I might have heard about it from you all. So, what do you all think about this podcast? Have you heard it? I've heard of it, sadly. I'm nonverbal, and I can definitely not talk to other nonverbal people telepathically. Oh. Oh my god. It's annoying that people think of us as having special abilities because it just plays more into the narrative that we're nothing without being special. It's beyond saddening, and I wish more people actually listened to us instead of just relying on the words of a completely verbal person who doesn't know shit about us. I know many nonverbal people, none of them have expressed the ability of telepathy. And if any of them did, I would question their mental health more than anything. Autistic people have a higher chance of having schizophrenia spectrum disorders and psychosis. It's no surprise that some nonverbal people do claim some crazy things, but instead of these parents and caregivers getting their nonverbal kid mental health help, they just think they're special. Mental health is widely ignored with nonverbal people. Damn. So this guy thinks that people who believes their kids have telepathy, that their kids just having psychosis and schizophrenia episodes. God damn, son. Hmm. Hi there, I saw that you became a nonverbal about a year ago. I hope you're getting all the support. Damn, this is getting too deep into only one person. I don't think it's. I don't think this is remotely true at all. I've never heard anything about this. But the implications that come with this are kind of funny because it's almost supporting autistic superpowers in an actual superpower kind of way, which I genuinely find amusing and insulting at the same time. I'd be interested if maybe they took this from the whole twins can telepathically communicate and applied it to autistics, or maybe even the double empathy problem, in which autistics can communicate and understand other autistics better, which I don't really believe, but that's how many explain that one. Ah, double empathy problem. Double empathy. The double empathy problem is a theory suggesting that communication breakdowns between autistic and non-autistic individuals aren't solely due to a lack of empathy in one group, but rather a mutual misunderstanding arising from differing experiences and perceptions. There are posts on the Air Autism subreddit about it with a lot of people praising it. Some of them are parents saying things like, I always knew they could understand me, even when I didn't say anything. Man, let's check this one. Search the Telepathy Tapes. What are people's opinions on this podcast? This podcast has moved me to tears and changed me in a way that I cannot describe or explain. My mind doesn't want to believe it because I am a logical person who firmly believes in the current science as it's been presented, but for some reason I cannot explain. It's like I believe it in my heart. I have a non-speaking autistic son, and this affirms this gut feeling I've always had, but always dismissed, about the depth of our connection. I've never found myself defending the very realness of for something that seems too unreal before. Thanks so much for sharing this. It hits me in a very unique way as well. There's a feeling of it being true, even though it doesn't fit any model of the world I have. Bro, it hits me as well. It does. Listening to people's stories like that. I hope people aren't immediately dismissive of this post. I challenge anyone to go listen to the first episode before drawing any conclusions. I think there may be something to this, and at minimum, Materialistic dogma is getting in the way of letting these individuals live a full life. The parts about spellers and the denial of a personhood for non-verbal autistics is incredibly sad and a genuine crime against them, in my opinion. I hope people approach this with an open mind to support those individuals, if nothing else. Right, and yeah, of course, people from another perspective. Unfortunately, the whole podcast consists of anecdotal stories and evidence that on paper looks cool, but can't be proven not to be some form of deception. Science could very easily explain this phenomenon, and if it hasn't already recognized its existence, the fact that we have missed it all this time is nearly crazier than the fact it exists. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think we understand very little of ourselves still. Like science is still very young. I mean, modern one, as at least. No, I think science can miss a lot of important things, you know. But I do agree, like a little bit with this guy. What is skeptical inquirer? I do agree that mm, some of those experiments can be biased, right? Maybe some of them consciously, but probably more of them were biased unaware, unconsciously. But man, there is something to it. Like I think there might be something to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a believer. Maybe I just want to believe in beautiful things like that. But I don't know. Some time ago, I just stopped believing science 100%. You know, I think it started when I started eating shrooms. Oh man. So, man, tell me what do you guys think? I would love to check more about it, you know? If you would like, I can actually buy the the $10 fee to get into those experiments deeply, you know? More of a first hand. And maybe I can even show it, you know, like I don't care if it's taken down. Like I'm not making any kind of money from it. Let's check out the YouTube actually also. Right, episode 11. Damn, are we living in a simulation? Damn, right. They went they went in this direction. Okay. Healing through telepathy, the science of intuition. Doesn't get that much views, I think, or maybe it does. Why are the episodes not? What's going on? Why are there two episode 10? Oh, talk tracks. Oh, they have two podcasts? Telepathy Tapes talk tracks and the Telepathy Tapes. All right, guys. That'll be all. Season 1 is coming. Okay, but they mean podcasts, right? Man, I it was really interesting. The first episode, it it's from 2 months ago. It gets 200 views, 200,000 views. Yeah, I think I have to listen to it. I have to listen to it. There is like a side of me, the skeptical side, right? But yeah, I cannot just place myself on one side or the other. I am a kind of a middleman, you know. So man, I am open for interpretation still. So let me know, man. What is yours? What do you think? And I might get into the first episode, the first podcast, man. That was interesting, man. I didn't I haven't expected that actually, but that kind of swallowed me. Damn. All right. So take care of you. of yourselves. All right? Cheers.